after the video where I talked about how I lost a crazy amount of money with dropshipping and then made everything back, I had a lot of responses to making the second part, which is basically a student of mine where a similar thing happened. I'm gonna tell you his number one mistake, which actually led him to make like 1 or 2K per day for like over a month and then lose everything. It's just one simple mistake which could be super simply avoided, but because he was lazy about how to do those things, he didn't do it properly. So let me tell you the story here. Basically, my student Vivan, he's also featured on this channel here as an interview. He basically found a winning product. Everything was great and everything started to do really, really well. Everything was super profitable. But then, after a few months of everything doing great, he actually realized that something is off and that the money in his bank account is not matching the profits he actually made. Okay? So he didn't ask me, and what he did was basically he kept spending money on Facebook like everything was great. And nobody really noticed, but at some point he just ran out of money. All right, he didn't have any money left and he was forced to turn everything off, and he basically started to panic and asked me, what the fuck happened? How could I lose so much money while I'm profitable? I don't understand what's going on. So I looked into his account and I saw that Facebook is double tracking every single sale. Okay, basically what that means is if he spends $10 and makes one sale, Facebook shows that he made 2 sales. So the cost per purchase on that sale is in reality 10, but for him it looked like it's 5. Okay, and his break-even point, let's say, is 8. So he didn't turn it off because $5 per cost per purchase is great. It's below his break-even point, when in reality it was way above. So we had this call. I looked into it and I immediately realized that something is off. I literally just saw, okay, the number of sales doesn't match the ROAS at all. It doesn't match the sales on Shopify. Something is really off here. And I looked into it. Inside of like 25 seconds, I saw it just double tracking. So the main mistakes he did was 2 things. Number one is the profit tracking was non-existent. All right. He did some profit tracking here and there, but he just did profit tracking weeks back. So he had no idea how much profit he made in the last week, but roughly how much he made the week prior. And then he basically forgot about profit tracking for like 2 weeks or so and kept spending more and more and more money, and then ran out of money because everything was super unprofitable. The second thing he did was not ask me if everything is fine and like just for me to look over it in those 2 weeks. If you're already in the mentoring and paying for guidance from me, then you need to take advantage of that and actually let me constantly look over your funnel and your sales and everything to make sure that you're doing the right thing. If I would have looked at the thing a week earlier, I would have just noticed a week earlier immediately. So those are the 2 learnings here. Number one is do profit tracking every single day. If you don't, you're setting yourself up for failure. There's no other way to make sure if you're going in the right direction if you don't know your numbers, okay? So not knowing your numbers is such a big thing. You have no idea how many people experience this thing, which I also experienced in Vivan, where basically everything goes great and then everything goes to shit just because of the numbers. And to be honest, it's not that difficult to recover from that. And basically for me, I recovered super quickly. And Vivan also, he talks about this in the interview, he recovered super fast and basically started making money again inside of like a month or 2, and everything was great again. However, it's just such an unnecessary loss, okay? So many people say, all right, you'll learn from your failures and whatever. Yeah, but you can also just not have them, all right? That's something you can actually simply avoid. There's no point in thinking, all right, I have to do every single mistake just by myself instead of learning from somebody else's mistake. I'm telling you, I did this mistake. Don't do it again. Please just do profit tracking properly, and this issue is just going to be gone forever. And here I'm talking about proper profit tracking, all right? I'm talking about taking the fees into account, taking your virtual assistants into account, taking all the services you're paying for into account, your taxes, everything. All right, you actually need to make sure that the profit, which is there in the end of the day, is your real profit. So all of this is obviously only relevant if you start testing. And unfortunately, most of the dropshipping community doesn't even test shit. All right, so forget about everything I just told you if you haven't tested your first product. All right, don't even think about anything here until you've tested and made your first sale. And at that point, you immediately start to do everything properly. okay? But before that, there's just no point because you're just gonna waste time and not get started at all. So if you actually want to get started with me in a one-on-one mentoring program where I'm going to guide you through everything you're doing and basically guide you through every step of the way, then click the link below, sign up for a free consultation session. We're going to have a one-on-one call, find out if everything is a good fit. If yes, we're going to start, and yeah, talk to you there.